Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Zanele Nahwana and today I'll be doing for you a story time. Well, the story time is traumatic. The story time is sad. The story time is bringing bad memories. It's bringing ghosts from my past. The story time, sorry. So the story time, this had happened back then. I was in grade 4. It was in 2013. Yeah, 2013. So what had happened was, it was in June. We were writing our June exams. So in my school, there's this. Well, I don't know about other schools that we started writing our exams in June. Everything started in June, and it started with the grade 4s. The grade 4 started writing their exams in June. So we were writing our exams, and then that day I decided to bring my boots to school. And I know you'll be asking, why are those boots relevant? Because those boots are important. Those boots are the reason. Well, not quite the reason, but they are important. You will get the point. So I bought my boots to school, and then it was fun. I was showing off my boots, to be fair. I was showing off my boots. I came to school to show my friends that I had new boots, and those boots were really big deal for me because they were in TV and they were the same color. It was those boots that had furs, like fur. It was so cute back then. Still like them. So what had happened was I brought my boots to school. I didn't care. I was doing my thing, telling my friends about my boots, and then I was sitting next to this guy. Let's give him a name. TP. I was sitting next to this guy, TP. I'm calling him TP because he was a teacher's baby. Like, he was the son of a teacher in our school. He was those guys who used to think the world belonged to them, who used to think everyone owes him something, who used to think like he's the real deal. I mean, boy, bye. Boy, fuck you. I mean, so he was those kind of boys. I mean, you know those boys. So that day, we were sitting, I was doing my stuff, he was doing his stuff because we didn't speak. I never spoke to him because he was always like, he was bullying me. Yeah, he was always bullying me and stuff. So I was like, I'm not gonna speak to you. I'm not gonna give you my time or day. Even though we were placed next to each other, you're always bullying me. I don't give a shit about you, and please don't start anything with me. So I was speaking to my friend. He stood up. I remember he stood up. He went to the teacher. He went outside. I thought he was going to the bathroom. So I was like, oh, whatever. Let him leave. Hope he doesn't come back. And then he left. And then he came back. And then he spoke to our teacher. And then our teacher was like, haven't anyone seen his birth certificate? He lost his birth certificate, by the way. It's like, haven't everyone, sorry, that's my sister in the background, she's annoying. I was like, sorry. He's like, haven't anyone seen TP's birth certificate? I was like, we were like, no one. And then the teacher started searching everyone. I'm not sure, but I think he did. Started searching everyone, and then there wasn't, no one saw his birth certificate. And then he went. This time he didn't ask because he was getting mad. Like, no, they took my birth certificate. So he was mad. He left again. And then this time he came back with his mother. And then his mother is like Miss TP because he's his mom. He came back with him. His mother started asking everyone. And he was rude. She was rude about it. Like, get my what's again. Give me what's a birth certificate and one like, yeah, give me, who took it? Who took my son's birth certificate? And we were like, no one knew. I mean, and then she called me, like, come here, Komir, Akwan, Ozala, Tanala. Yeah, she called me, stood in front of the class, like, where is my son's birth certificate? I was like, I don't know anything. Like, I want my son's birth certificate. And then I told her, I don't know. Like, how can you not know? How can you not know? You are the one sitting next to him. You are the one. You are his desk mate. I was like, bitch, please, bitch, fuck you. I was like that, but then I couldn't say that because it was And I was like, and I had a sweet voice back then. I didn't have this bass that I have right now. I didn't. I was like, no, I don't know. And then I spoke to her into one like, I think it's a boni. I haven't seen his birth certificate. I guess it's born certificate. And then I was like, and then she was like, oh, now you are talking in class. You are not studying. Like, what have you been doing? It's impossible. You cannot be talking to your class to your friend while at study period. I was like, I was showing her my boots this whole time, and then I took off my boots from my bag, and then I showed her, like, these were the boots I was showing her. She's like, no, you are lying. You stole my son's birth certificate. And then she started beating me with the plank. Where's the certificate? I was like, I don't know. Because I didn't know. What was I supposed to do? I was like, I don't know. She started beating me again. And then she was like, your mother sent you, huh? Your mother sent you. Your mother sent you to steal from me. Your mother sent you to come and steal my son's certificate. I was like, Aibo, where does my mother enter now? Where? Because there's no door. Where does she enter? It's like, yeah, your mother came. You came to this school to steal, huh? You didn't come to learn, huh? Why did you take? Yeah, she was beating me up. Her friend even came, Miss Cheerleader. No, I'll call her Miss Cheerleader because she was the cheerleader. She used to be the teacher who owned cheerleaders. She was like the leader of the cheerleaders. So I'm gonna call her Miss Cheerleader. And she was her friend. It's like Miss Cheerleader was like, yeah. And then I was crying back then, like crocodile tears, huh? You're busy spilling crocodile tears. I was like, I'm too young for this. Miss Cheerleader was helping her. They started beating me up. And then I was like, I didn't see. And then my teacher, my class teacher was there in the corner. She didn't even know what to do. My class teacher was like a white lady. She was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna entertain this. She was there at the back. I was like, my class teacher was so quiet. I was like, oh God. And then she was like, and then I was crying, and then I went back to my seat. As I went back to my seat, I was crying. I was lying on my desk crying, and my friend was like, oh, so what you told me. And then Miss Cheerleader was busy. Oh, Miss Cheerleader even came back again. I was like, haven't you seen? So you didn't find it, eh? You didn't? It's not even your son's. It's Mrs. Tippy's son's birth certificate. So where do we enter when that show me? Because there's no door for you. Like, where do you enter? But then she was busy with Mrs. Tippy, with Mrs. Cheerleader. So Mrs. Cheerleader was like, she was passing. She came back again, and then she was yelling again. She was yelling at me like, oh, why are you crying? Your crocodile tears. Why are you crying if you know you stole the birth certificate? And I didn't steal the birth certificate. What was I going to do with that birth certificate? What? Get him married or something? Kidnap him? What was I going to do with the birth certificate? And then she left, and then she passed through our class, and then I was lying on my table because I was so embarrassed. So I was lying on my table, and then she yelled in our class like, crocodile tears! Crocodile tears! Like, that lady was crazy, but she was beautiful and crazy. And then the bell rang, and then it was break, went to break, and then after break, Mrs. Tippy came back. Mrs. Tippy. After break, before we wrote our exam, she came back and she was like, oh, we found the birth certificate. And I was like, we found the birth certificate. Apparently it was in Tippy's school bag. It was inside his file. He didn't see it, so we found it. So don't worry. And then she left. I was like, so you're not gonna apologize for beating me for something I didn't steal? And apparently I was supposed to look after, oh God, be its bodyguard. So you're not gonna apologize for that? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Aren't you old for that? Like, what the fuck? And then she didn't apologize, and then she just left. And then she looked me in the eyes. That's the part that irritated me. She was like, the TBs looking at me. It's like, we found the birth certificate. It was in TB's school bag. It was inside his file. So don't worry, guys. We found it. Thank you. And then she left. Bitch, aren't you gonna apologize? At least that's what you owe me. Aren't you gonna apologize? Aren't you gonna say sorry? I mean, because, man, that woman was a bully herself. That woman was like his dumb ass son with his big head. They were both bullies. Because you're not supposed. First of all, you are not supposed to beat someone like that. Not even you wouldn't do that to your son, because we could see your son was a spoiled brat. You wouldn't do that to your son. You're not supposed to do that to someone's daughter. And then thirdly, you were supposed to fucking apologize. That's what you owed me. Apologize. Say, I'm sorry. She could have said, I'm sorry, guys. I am sorry. Child who's sitting next to my son. I am sorry. Well, she did ask me my name. I'm sorry, Zanel. I was wrong. But then her pride was too big. Her pride. So she didn't apologize. Like, we found it. And then that was it. I was like, hi, bo. And then I kept quiet. We wrote our exams. And then after school, I was sweating on my phone. I was sweating, and then I went to tell my mom after school. But then I waited until my mom came back from work. And I was like, I told my mom. And then my mom was like, that's the that's the only thing she says. Like, she will gawk. I don't know how to say uzonya. Yeah, she will shit herself with her big breasts. That's the only thing she said, and then she left. And then I thought my mom was gonna go to school and then go to fight her, because other parents were like that. And then my mom is the calmest person. Well, sometimes she's the calmest person. She was like, who's going here? I'm a bit more cool. And then she kept quiet, and then that was it. And then ever since I started, I didn't like her. And then when I got to grade 7, I think she even forgot that I didn't like her at grade 7. She was teaching me creative arts. I didn't like her whatsoever. And I think she could see, because when she had something like, oh guys, let's plan a party for my class, it's my birthday, I didn't even go. She wanted people to clean her class. I didn't. I used to clean people's class, like, for fun. Like, we would clean people's stuff. And then if she would have asked me or any of my friends, I wouldn't go. Like, no. Why? What? I didn't like her ever since. And then I don't think I would ever like her. I would, because that was wrong. But then, and that's it. So, that's my story. I don't think I will ever, but I did forgive her. But then that was wrong. At least she owed me an apology. That's all I can say. She owed me an apology. But then that's how we are not the same as people. We cannot do the same thing. We cannot respect people the same way. And then we're not the same. But then maybe that's only me, but then maybe she didn't feel like she owed me an apology, because she was the teacher and she had to keep this image that I am the teacher I need to be feared, because that was the competition in my primary school. Everyone wanted to be feared, like everyone wanted someone to be afraid of her, everyone. So maybe she thought if I apologize to her, it will seem like I am weak or something. So maybe it's just her, but then I was sad. You weren't supposed to, no one is supposed to be treated like that. No one. I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy. Like, and as a child, yeah, now I'm like, when I'm looking back right now, it's like, yeah, it happened, it was sad and all that. But then, back then, it was a big deal because I was young. He beat me with this big ass plank for no reason. For no fucking reason. Why didn't you beat your child? Because he's the motherfucker who lost that shit. Why didn't you? But bitch didn't, because what? She wanted to be feared or something. I don't know what her reason was, but my class teacher apologized to me, like, I am sorry for what had happened. I'm sorry. She did apologize, and then it was fine. Like, it's fine, because what? It's fine. Yeah, but that son of a bitch didn't. She didn't. But then I forgave her. It's fine. But thank you for watching my story. Yeah, I don't think it is that sad. I don't think it's that sad. But then back then it was sad. But then now I don't think it was that sad. Yeah. So thank you for watching. If you have reached this place, yeah, thank you. You have reached this far in my video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.